So big story today, Labour have come under pressure for how they deal with extremists already. Today it's been reported that the Home Secretary is to reject advice to brand misogynists, environmental activists and the far left as extremists. So essentially it's the old-fashioned definition she's sticking with, which is terrorism, really. She's rejected a Home Office report that she commissioned in the wake of the Southport riots. She will remain focused on Islamist and far-right extremism instead. Wilfred, what do you think of that?
Well, I'm glad, actually, she's rejected the fact that they should be regarded as extremists, because the problem that you have in society is that if you use words to have such a wider remit, people then really get confused. And an example of that would be racism. So some people are called racist because they've referred to someone, like, I'll give you an example. So in certain parts of the world, I might be referred to as coloured rather than black. And some people might interpret that as a person being racist, which then offends the person because they're not being racist, is that they're using the wrong language. So language is very, very important. And if it gets sort of diluted, the things that should be treated with some extremes then sort of gets ignored.
But are you saying then, let's say the incel movement, which is something I didn't know about until a guy in Canada, this is about 5 years ago, kicked off and started trying to stab people on the basis that he wasn't having enough sex. Unbelievably, this is a thing now. Incel means involuntary celibate. Do you think that incels should be labelled as extremists?
So incels are extremists. The problem you then have is that if you then get some teenager that goes and says something damning about women, being seen as an extremist. Do you see what I mean? So what is the extreme? Is it because of what this incel guy has said?
Well, it's when you go towards violence, isn't it? What do you think?
Exactly.
I think, look, you can't not say that some of these other things are not extremely serious, but I think it's absolutely right. They're focusing in far-right extremism and Islamist extremism. And I think that is the right thing to do. And actually, I think it was the M15 boss, am I saying it right? The M15,
MI5.
MI5, there you go, MI5. 75% of what they deal with is Islamic extremism.
Yeah.
And then I think the rest is far-right. And I think, you know...
That sounds about right.
And I also think, look, these are the experts, and let's listen to the experts.
Okay, but hang on. That gives us a problem here with the Southport guy. Axel Rudikabana wanted to kill people. He did have Al-Qaeda training manuals. He did try and make ricin, which is a nerve agent. But in the end, they kind of decided he had no ideology. He was just, I suppose, punk rock, isn't it? He just wanted to basically destroy everything.
But it's disturbed. Everything is... So the thing we have to remember...
He's not an extremist under this definition.
Well, I just think that, again, I wouldn't necessarily use the word extreme. I would say seriously disturbed. Seriously disturbed. And, you know, you can't be that young and have those sort of ideas that belong to... It's this. So that's what we've got to... So even this incel guy, maybe he's seriously disturbed.
Yeah, but there was an incel in the States who was known as the Virgin Killer, who, because he had had no sex, killed, I think it was a shootout. Of course it was the States. And I think he maybe had as many as 6 victims. So it's very, very serious, you know.
It is very serious, but also we can't base our policy on America. America is such a different country on so many levels.
And we haven't, thankfully, we haven't had a big incel thing here yet.
Exactly.
Just on environmental activists, there's another example of where they've said, we don't think that's extremism. There has been another Just Stop Oil protest. This one could be the most tenuous link we've seen yet, because they disrupted a West End performance of The Tempest, starring Sigourney Weaver, who, of course, we loved in Alien. And they say, you get this, before we see it, this is the logic, because temperatures are rising 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels, we are in the middle of a global tempest. So have a look.
Unwholesome fen! Hot social, ladies and gentlemen, sorry.
Guys in orange have come on almost aping Shakespeare. Sigourney, you can see on the right, not impressed, walking off in quite a stately and graceful manner. And a lot of effing and blinding that we've had to edit. And then you can see they've exploded one of those party poppers or something. I mean, the thing, you know, you attack a painting by Van Gogh with tomato soup. Poor old Van Gogh sold one painting in his life. He was about the greenest person we've ever seen. He didn't take a plane. He didn't use a car. He just painted and then cut his ear off.
I think this is the thing, you know, you can have a just cause, can't you? But it's about also how you...
Do you think it's a just
how
cause?
you campaign that. But those people that sat in the middle of the M25, I'm like, these are, you know, working class people that just want to get to their flipping jobs. And you're creating appalling... Oh, middle class people. I know, I'm just thinking of the white man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know, things like that I think are wrong, or the people that were stopping the trains.
You say that, but we're talking about, this is the trouble. Here we are, they've got Sigourney Weaver involved now.
But what I think is this, is that whether you... The key is about getting our attention. And this has got our attention because we are debating it.
Yes.
Any change has come to where people have actually got the public to be aware of the problem and then get them on.
So you think it's justified?
Well, I'd rather them doing that than being on the motorway.
What about this, Wilfred? What if we said, because this has been, I don't know if this has been done before, but no, it is done. If someone streaks at a football game, the TV cameras are not allowed to show them. Because what they realise is, as soon as the person who invades the pitch knows they won't be on TV, they definitely won't, they stop doing it.
Okay.
And
so
we now say, right, the media will decide, we're not showing that stuff anymore, they will stop it. I guarantee.
But they won't, because now we have TikTok. We've now got other things where we go and get our news. Somebody will be filming that and it'll be sent out. So that's the issue you're going to have. So if
you think it's okay to show that?
Well, this is the dilemma that we have. I mean, I think that they're not going to upset as many people as they would if they're on the M25. And
people watching The Tempest, you don't want to upset that lot.
Oh, yes.
Well,
It's probably a welcome break, I would imagine.
They're a serious bunch.
Is it?
Yeah.